All right, everyone. Let's do an audio visual check. How's everybody doing? How's everybody trading today? Good. Let's go. We're going to 400 tomorrow. I'm not sure what you mean by 400. Audio sounds good. Great. Hi from Turkey. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Horrible Todd, up 1,400. What's good? All right. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm still trying to get over this dang cough. Anyway, as always, I'm Coach Dakota, Coach TBA. Welcome to Slow Markets. I posted our top step risk disclosure here on the YouTube chat. As you can see behind me, we have the NASDAQ daily chart. We're going to be analyzing the live markets like we do almost pretty much every slow markets. It's all for education, for you guys, for free, for your viewing pleasure. Let's get started. Today was kind of another sideways day, to be honest. It was very much like yesterday. You can see here on the daily chart, the past 3 days have been nothing but consolidation. You know, we've sold off, we came back down, and we've been kind of in this zone right around 18,200 plus or minus, pretty much 50 points. If we start to zoom in, we can start to granularize it a lot better. Let's do that. We'll talk about gold. I just barely hopped into a short gold trade. We'll go over that when we get to gold, Mr. Handles. But yeah, here's an hourly chart here on the NASDAQ. And as you can see, we have just almost copy, paste, repeat, making higher highs and higher lows. And so NASDAQ is in an interesting area where we did sell off. We got right back. We bought right back up around 75 in this zone. Went up, hanging around this top area. And pretty much kind of what I was saying last night, at least I think it was last night, is I was going into today like a range-bound trader. I was looking at this market as range-bound, where it was buy the dips, right, and then look to sell up into these highs. I think it's the same thing. I'm going to be a lot more hesitant selling it, obviously, because we're in a bullish trend and we're just consolidating in a bullish trend. We could maybe consider this, some type of flagging pattern, consolidating, and the trend is still bullish because we're going up and to the right, which means that I wouldn't be surprised at any time we could just rally and break up and get above, and start a breakout. And so the first thing I look at is if we do rally up and we break out, where would we go to? Well, the first area I do see is around 18,347. That's where this pivot was. I know it's very small, but we look to the left, keeping it super simple. 18,347-ish. We have a lot of resistance in this area. As you can imagine, we could continue to go through and mark this. But this seems to be a regional zone, right around, I would say 18,340 to 18,000, like, I don't know, a 30-point zone. I would say that if we do break to the upside, this would be the reasonable area that we would go to in terms of me looking for shorts or take profits or, some targets to the long side. Yeah, so that being said, I don't want to be a buyer right now. I don't want to buy right now because we're at the top of this range. As we're ranging, I like the option of selling. I would much rather see us, sell back off to the bottom of this range, looking for long opportunities, or even, maybe go just some type of a pullback and then break. It doesn't mean we couldn't just break now, but we're at an area in the NASDAQ where I want to just kind of stay hands off and wait until we either get a pullback, an opportunity to buy. If you are bearish and you want to get aggressive and short, then obviously this will be a cheap short, right? Where we're looking for shorts up into this zone and take profits down to the bottom of this range. But I'm not looking for shorts up here. I'd much rather have a pullback and a breakout. Or if we do get a breakout, another thing that I would like is if we get a breakout, then a retest, right? And then a continuation. So I'm going to be on TopstepTV tomorrow morning. This is the analysis that I'm going to be looking at going to tomorrow with Coach Jay and MP. Something like this. If we break up overnight, then I would look for a sell-off and a re-entry as we, resistance becomes support. And while I'm going through this, feel free to ask any questions. We have an amazing team who's going to be watching the chat and sending me some of the questions. Gold pump. Oof. Don't tell me that. Oh, look, I'm going to get stopped out of gold right here. I'm going to get stopped out. Dang it. That's not a good way to start the day. What is your entry confirmation? Daniel Hunt, my entry confirmation. It's pretty simple. Okay, so, and this reminds me to this, guys. I read my report card. I read my report card from Topstep TV and that report card we did, or they did. One of the big, thank you guys. I love it so much. I love being a coach and helping everybody here. I love the great feedback. One of the feedback, and I'll probably mention this in fast markets, was people not believing what I'm saying and that I'm actually profitable because it's too simple. And that kind of surprised me. And I was like, wow, people don't believe that I'm a good trader because it's too simple. And it just made me think, I'm like, wow, well, it kind of is, right? And it makes sense. There's so many people out there that trade their own different ways. And there's so many ways to complicate trading. It's like, that's too simple. Like, it can't be true. But it's true, guys. It really is. You see me day in, day out. It's the same stuff over and over and over again. It is copy and paste. If you've been watching my slow markets class for a while now, you know for a fact it's the same stuff over again, and it can get really boring. But yeah, it's very, very simple, very basic. I went over a good trade last night in crude oil. I didn't get triggered in, unfortunately, but it was a great idea, and it would have worked if you would have got in, at a little bit higher price. But let's talk about that a little bit, and we'll talk about that for you, Daniel. It's very basic technical analysis. If we rally up and we break, let's just say in the morning, we break out during London session and we start to get a pullback, I am going to be looking to just buy it when we get to these levels. And it's as simple as that, where, oh, come on. If we get to this level, whether we pull back to here or we pull all the way back to 236, it would be something as simple as, oh, we're in the 230s, buy it, right? Buy at bid, wait. Maybe I jump down to a smaller time frame and look for a 3-bar reversal, a head and shoulders, some type of very simple technical pattern that will say, okay, reversal starting to happen, or now the market has a decent chance of reversing. But that's it. Like that's as simple as it gets. Question, why are you not using Topstep X? I'm used to NinjaTrader, guys. I'm used to teaching in NinjaTrader. I'm used to my little hotkeys, doing my analysis on the hotkeys. I'm getting used to Topstep X, but until I feel 100% comfortable, it's a lot easier for me to run a class on something I'm used to until I get used to Topstep X, of course. So it's just because I'm used to it. And to be honest, right now, everything that I need is on Topstep X in terms of, I believe there's now a 100 tick chart. We have Nikkei. We have everything we need. Topstep X is amazing. So there's all the features in Topstep X that will allow me to trade the way I want to trade, but in just terms of comfortability. I did get confirmation that Coach Robert is going to be on Topstep or slow markets this upcoming Wednesday. So next week, Wednesday, Coach Robert and I will be on slow markets, and we're going to be going over what OCO orders are. So that is going to be a big one for everybody here. We're going to talk about OCO orders. We're going to be talking about placing orders and placing trades and holding them overnight. So that's going to be a good one. This upcoming Wednesday is going to be one of the better slow markets in terms of helping traders understand placing trades and holding them overnight and how to place those trades as well. How do you manage your risk? There are 50, 100, 150K accounts, but how much do you risk? Do you have a calculation about this? Yeah, I like to risk about $375 per contract. And it depends on what account size, right? Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about gold. I'm in a gold trade. Obviously, you guys could see that. Oh my gosh. How's that for almost hitting my stop loss? My stop loss was at 23.59.5, and it went up to 23.59.2. Wow, that was a little luck. Right? We talk, and I try and answer as many questions as I can. So let's talk about this trade. Let's talk about why I took it, why I have my stop loss there, and what I'm thinking on this trade. So give me just 1 second. Oh, come on. Maybe we could do it. Okay, so here is what I was looking at. And so this is a 60-minute chart. So sin of Joanne, it's about $370. Okay, 0.25%. Let me talk about this first, okay? Because my trading can be a little bit confusing because it changes a lot. I like to trade $375, which would be 0.25% of a 150K account. And so if I'm on a 150K account, I typically do not want to risk more than $175 per trade. I'm trading my live account. This is my live account, which you see in front of me. I'm trading this like 3 150K accounts. So technically, the risk that I have on the account that you see in front of me, which is live, is 150K times 3, which is 450,000. I'm trading this account like it's a $500,000 account. So 0.25% of that is going to be around $1,200, which is about, give or take, where this is at. Now, it's not going to be exact, okay? It's not going to be exact 100%. It's going to be give or take a couple $100. So anyway, that being said, what the heck was I talking about? I lost track. It's been a long day for me, guys. I got a hot chocolate to help my throat. Anyway, yeah, I was explaining why I'm short gold, right? Okay, gold, 60-minute chart. Let's look at this 60-minute chart. So, pretty basic, pretty simple. We all know this was a major resistance zone. You know, major resistance, and gold lately has. And I'm going to walk you through this exactly the way my brain was thinking of it, right? So, okay, this was a good resistance area. Gold rallies up. We've had a nice big sell-off, right? Gold rallied up, sell-off. Gold rallied up, sell-off, right? And so I was looking at it like this. You know, gold rallied up, right? Pretty close into this resistance zone, okay? And over here on the hourly chart, I'll have to zoom in a little bit more. Come on. Okay, let's zoom in a little more. So over here on the hourly chart, we started to see a little bit of resistance, right? We have a doji candle, doji, consolidation. Very similar to what we were seeing here. That's right above my head. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? This could be a decent area to short. I have a good risk reward. You know, looking for gold. You know, looking for a 2-to-1 risk reward trade. Maybe even better because I'm getting into 3 contracts where I could close out. You know, maybe one here, and maybe even target something even lower. So I was looking for the pattern of gold to do something that it has been doing for the past, since May, right? We're at the top of this consolidation, right? We're up in this consolidation. We got up there, I shorted it, and what I was looking at for a stop loss was obvious, pretty obvious. I was like, well, right above this pivot seems to be a decent area for my stop loss. So I put my stop loss there. Of course, I would love to have my stop loss up here, right? But then I'm just risking too much. That's like $3,000 worth of risk. Like that's a lot too much of a risk. Maybe if I was only in one contract, then I would be okay with that risk. But for right now, nope. Like this is the risk that I have. It's still at a good place. We'll see. Like I said, I'm obviously a lot less confident because I entered this trade right here, and then since I started class, we just broke up. But that's the risk we take, right? I missed the trade on Nikkei. I missed an amazing trade on Nikkei, guys. I was busy trying to sell gold, and I should have been selling the Nikkei. This is the Japanese market, ticker symbol NKD. Look how beautiful of a trade this was. I missed it. We have this nice trend line, and I had this on there before, and sure enough, we rallied right up there, touched it, and now we sold right back down. I'm actually a little bit tempted now. Now that I'm looking at this, is maybe this could be a buying opportunity. We're right down here at the 570s, 560s. Yeah, I'm considering this. I really am. Let's take a look. Oof. Yeah, I just got stopped out of gold. That's okay. Dang gold. Man. Let's see. This one's looking pretty dang tempting. Ton of Japanese news, Japan news today. Let's go. Let me jump over to gold. Yeah, it just stopped me out. Yeah, that was a huge move on gold. That's okay. We're getting up into this resistance. It's tempting to short it again, but I'm not. Okay, Thursday night tonight. What's the news? Am I missing something? I'm not seeing anything in Forex Factory. What's the news, Coach Jay? I must be missing something. We'll wait. Yeah, let me know if there's something I'm missing. I don't see anything on. I'm just simply looking at Forex Factory. But anyway, let's talk about crude oil. Let's talk about crude oil for a moment. I'm getting everything set up on my end. Okay, let's talk about crude oil, and then we'll talk about Nikkei. I'm going to keep an eye on Nikkei, and I wanted to touch base on something after, but let's talk about crude oil. So last night, if anybody mentioned, I talked through a trade in as much detail as I possibly could, right? I talked through this trade I don't think I could talk through a trade as detailed as last night. Hopefully I answered everybody's questions in terms of going through how I trade, how I like to leave a trade run overnight, and what I was looking for using a buy limit order here on crude oil. So we all know that where were we at last night? We were like, I don't know, right here somewhere like this. What I was looking for on crude oil was a a pullback, right? A pullback, looking to get into some buy limit on this zone anywhere. Somewhere in this zone. And then a push up towards $80 a barrel. We did get a beautiful pullback. Obviously, this didn't happen until like the New York session. I didn't get triggered in, and then we're getting a nice rally. And, that was a good example. I didn't get triggered in, but it was a great example of the style and the way that we could place trades overnight. And if this did happen to sell off and get triggered in and then rally back up, sometimes these trades work out really, really well. Right now, the way I'm looking at crude oil is, I love this type of a trade. I'm kind of have a little bit of FOMO because I missed out on getting in long down here. But look at this. This is a very beautiful technical pattern, something very beautiful that I am actually looking at. Oh, that's not what I want. Come on. Okay, so we have a pivot here right around 79.80. We kind of pushed up right there. And this is a very solid resistance zone. If we get a nice bounce, a nice rally, if we break above this, I'm going to be looking for a breakout. Obviously, if we break above 79, pretty much 90, above this little resistance area, we could see gold. This isn't gold. I'm still thinking about that gold trade. We could see, 80.50, $80.50. This resistance is the first target. So this would be the first target I'm looking at for the upside. If we do break up, and then the second is going to be around, I was looking at 81 and then maybe 81 and a half. So pretty much increments of 50 cents. It kind of looks like right here. I really like it. If we do break out, it's setting up for a nice technical, a very, very nice technical pattern. If we do get a nice breakout. NKD flushing. All right. Give me 1 second. We'll switch. I think that's all I have on crude oil. I'm going to wait. I'm going to play for a breakout on crude to see if we can break out above $79 a barrel or $79.90, pretty much $80 a barrel. And then I'll have a nice $1 move from pretty much $80 to 81. Gold still hovering right there. Yeah, man, that was one heck of a. You know what? I like this here. Yeah, everyone wants me to talk about Nikkei. All right, let's talk about Nikkei then. So we had that huge rally up. This is kind of what I was talking about on gold, or I was talking about on the NASDAQ. We broke out of this resistance, right? This was a decent resistance, and I don't think this will give it. This might not give it to me. There we go. So let me talk about this one for just a moment. We broke out, okay, and just a very basic technical standpoint. We broke out, we pulled back, and I'm going to look for resistance. This is resistance. I'm going to look for resistance to become support. So let's see. This could be maybe I'm just a little bit more hesitant on this one, just because that's quite the sell-off. But it's a technical pattern. We broke out. We are testing resistance. Let's zoom into a 5-minute. That kind of sums it up, right? We did give back one. I'm a little hesitant on this one, though, guys. Make sure I put a stop right here. Yeah, that was a huge rally. All the way up to what? 38,780. All the way back down to 38,479.5. So let's watch this. We'll see if we get a bounce. Usually now here's something. I don't want to talk myself out of this trade, but usually I like a lot more slower sell-off, right? Where we can maybe get something more at this type of an angle, something that's a little more slow, and then a bounce, rather than immediately sell off. So there is something to be said. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I like that a little bit better. There is something to be said that we went through really, really fast. I'm okay. I'm going to keep my stop loss tight. This was a really strong reversal, and I don't want to risk too much. If we were moving a little bit, yeah, see, it's starting to sell off. If we were moving a little bit slower, right? See how this is kind of slower? This is slower. It's not so steep and not so direct. Yeah, I'm going to get stopped out on this one again. Not looking good, guys. Yeah, this is too much. Like, this is way too fast. But I don't want to talk myself out of it. 3 contracts, yeah. Very, very tight of a stop loss. Yeah, if you want to buy that stop. There we go. Stopped out. There's another quick loss. Okay, I'm going to slow down. That was quite the freaking reversal there on the Nikkei. Wow, that would have been one heck of a sell. Yeah, that short would have that was the trade. That was one heck of a trade if somebody caught that short. Yeah, this is supposed to be slow markets, but these markets are moving pretty dang fast. We had gold bounce up and stop me out. We had Nikkei sell off, and I just got stopped out in Nikkei. And crude oil and NASDAQ really isn't moving very much. Quite not too great of a day to start my Friday. Crazy Japanese man going long 3T. Yeah, I mean, we might bounce now. I don't mind. I think that's enough for me. That was the risk that I like to take. I would probably take it again over and over. That was what I wanted. It happened a little too quick. Like I said, I would have much rather us kind of slowly get down there, and then that gives me a better opportunity. But that was the trade. We broke out. We come back. We test resistance, and I'm okay if I got stopped out. That was 100% the trade I was looking for. But that's okay. That was minus $700 on that one. That was one heck of a reversal, though, guys. Yeah, that was quite the reversal. $700 is peanuts. Yeah, well, I mean, $700 is still $700. I don't like to lose money. Yeah, I don't like losing money. I just like anybody else. It is a trade, though, and I'll take that trade over and over again. Of course, I don't like to lose money, and I'm sure nobody else likes to lose money. But anyway, that is what it is. What is my daily loss limit? On my live account, my daily loss limit is $9,000. Yeah, $9,000. I'm trading my live account like 3 XFAs. And I've hit it a few times. What do I think about gold? I mean, technically, maybe you could still say that this trade's still valid. I don't like it. I don't like gold right now. I already took my loss. I took my loss. I have to deal with it. Nothing we could really do about that. But technically, this trade is still... I mean, I would be okay taking it again, but I took my loss. I have to deal with it because this is the resistance, right? And then we have support down here. And if we are believing that gold could still be in this range, it would be, shorting the top of this range and looking to buy the bottom of this. But I took the loss. I mean, I had that risk set up. I don't want to risk more than I should. But that's all it is. I will only short gold from 23.93 from clear up here. Yeah, look at this Nikkei sell-off. Man, that was a complete reversal. There is a Japanese 30-year auction and 3-month bill auction in 4 minutes. So that's what moved the market then. Because this thing's selling off quite a bit. Christopher, yes, I will be on TopstepTV during fast markets. Me, Jay, and MP. Yeah, look at this. We could watch this sell off together. But that was the trade. Could you imagine if I should have been paying attention to this? Like that was it. That was the dang trade. Yeah, that was from 38 700s, and now we're at 38 300s. Could not expect to move like this. Let me go through. Okay, perfect. So let's get to some more of these questions. We'll get to some more of these questions, and then we'll go over. I went through all the markets pretty dang fast. There was a lot happening tonight. Valdez, overtrading is a thing. Yes, 100%. Overtrading is a thing. It's a very bad habit. Sometimes I get into that habit as well. It's a hard habit. We all have it. We all go through it. I have it sometimes. I go through it. You see me, I just took a short on gold. I took a loss. I tried to get long on the Nikkei on the pullback to support. I took a loss. So I just got to be done now. Probably going to be done till the morning. Like I said, I'm on fast markets with Coach Jay and myself and MP. And so I'm probably not going to be taking a trade until then. But definitely, 100%, overtrading is a real thing. Coach Dakota, Japanese Nikkei is up 550 points, and the Nikkei is selling. Shouldn't go with the Japanese market. I'm not sure what you mean by that. How do you read charts with support and resistance? Have you ever traded single stocks the same way or just futures? David, yes, I did. I did trade, and I do trade single stocks with the same thing. Same thing. When I was trading single stocks, I do some options. So I did some options. I do some options. And it's the same thing. It really is, where I'm looking to use very basic support and resistance and technical analysis. You can see, right, as simple as it gets, if I was looking at this market a little bit earlier and looking to sell it, then yeah, like that was as simple as it gets. We rally up. We're kind of overextended. We get to a bearish trend line, then that is a great area to take a short, limit risk, and have a good risk reward. Unfortunately, I was a little bit early. I was trying to buy it right here. Oh well. See the ATR bump on the Nikkei? We talked about the ATR a little bit, right? Yeah, look at this ATR. That is a great example. Huge spike in volatility on this move up and move straight down. I do not look at volume on the Nikkei. I don't really look at volume on any of the markets that I do trade. What tools besides an ATR helped you get to this level? That's a good question. What tools helped me get to this level? Oh, ATR helped me understand my stop sell quite well. I went over that. I plan to go over that a little more in depth. Maybe when when Coach Jay comes on with me again, and we have some time. I would say trend lines, getting used to losing, and screen time. Like, I don't get me wrong, I absolutely hate losing money. I really do hate losing money. But I'm used to it. I don't know if that's how bad of a thing is that, right? Yeah, I hate losing money, but I'm used to it. And, some days I'll have a $10,000 drawdown, which you guys see me do. I hit my daily loss limit minus $9,000. And that is extremely frustrating. It really is. But understanding the way that I'm trading, understanding my trading style, trading my live account like 3 XFAs to where I got to understand that as you scale an account, your wins are going to be bigger, and so will your losses, right? And so say I have a $2,000 winning day, that's great. I will have also a $10,000 losing dollar day, or a $9,000 because my daily loss limit is $9,000. But that's just part of the game. I showed my statistics here before. I went over them again before, and for example, just for May, May 2nd I was up $10,000. April 30th I was down, $10,000. That's the reality of trading. Is I hate my losing days. I hate hitting a daily loss limit, but it happens. And it's super frustrating. It really is. Yeah, I can't stress how frustrating hitting a daily loss limit is. Just like this, I immediately, since I started, look at that. I took a loss on gold. And after that loss on gold, I took another loss here on Nikkei. And yeah, I'm already down $2,500. That's not fun at all. Just double down and martingale that account. Andrew, I've always thought about doing that. We always get those, dark, intrusive thoughts of increasing your trade size, and yeah, we can't let that happen. Nikkei should complete broadening formation and hit 3,800. Just double down. Let me make sure I'm getting to all these questions. We'll see how the house account is tomorrow. I'm excited to trade with MP and Coach Jay in the morning. Dakota, your strategy is quite simple and very effective. At some point, you read technical analysis books, or how is it that you learn your strategy? So I've read a few books. A lot of it was there's so much stuff online. There really is so much stuff online in terms of content out there of technical analysis, chart patterns, this, that. There really is. And look at this. Look how simple this is here on Nikkei, where it's the same consideration, right? We have this huge rally, and every single time we get to the top of this trend line, it's been great selling opportunities, obviously, until this point. And this is kind of the same thing, right? Man, that was such a beautiful trade. I'm kind of kicking myself for not watching Nikkei earlier and taking this short. Oh, well, we're already down to 300. Yeah, market like this, I'm perfectly fine just hands off, waiting till tomorrow. Yeah, we went from like plus 1% to down 0.5%. I mean, my opinion about gold hasn't changed, guys. Everyone's saying short gold, looking at short gold. I should have had my stop loss here, but my risk didn't allow me to. Of course, I should have, would have, could have, right? Oh well, that's the reality of it. It just ran and hit my stop. A stop loss up here would have made more sense, but now we have hindsight. That's it. There's the bounce. There's the bounce on Nikkei. Gold is making the same pattern as Nikkei right now. Maybe on a smaller time frame. Is that what you're saying? Nikkei's following gold. Kind of. Patience. Yeah, it's as much as I like to preach patience, sometimes I struggle with patience as well. Do you ever check Asian news to influence your trade ideas on Nikkei or just price action on the market structure? So news does influence my trading in terms of if we have a big news event, I will be cautious. I try and be aware of what that news event is, and I try not to trade around that news event. But in terms of me getting in and getting out, the news has no effect in terms of this is why I entered the trade, has nothing to do with what the news did. Or if we had news coming up, I'm not going to be entering a trade because of that. And a lot of times, and we talk about Nikkei here, guys. We talk about Nikkei, and this is a good conversation point. Waymarker, I see your comment is Nikkei. Even though I talk about Nikkei, it's something to talk about. We get some volatility. Nikkei is not the number one market I trade. The number one market I trade is the NASDAQ. I trade the NASDAQ. It's my number one market. My next market I trade is crude oil. Number one, NASDAQ. Number two, crude oil. And then number three is a tie between the Nikkei and gold. If I was to recommend a new trader trying to become consistent and trading and taking payouts for the first time, I will not recommend the Nikkei. I would recommend something like crude oil, NASDAQ, ES, something that does have a micro to where you don't have to be trading big size, something that's not extremely volatile, and something that's a lot more common with more liquidity. So Nikkei is great for me to talk about from a technical aspect. I do trade it. I do talk about it a lot from the aspect that it's volatile. Obviously, you can see some volatility here. But for new traders, and I've been considering this, guys, I really have been considering this, is that I kind of stopped talking about the Nikkei so much when I'm trading during slow markets, and I'm talking about slow markets to help more of the new traders out and maybe focus more on NASDAQ, crude oil, and gold and less about the Nikkei. But yeah, that gold short looks good if we were able to catch some of this higher. If someone sold my stop on gold, that was probably the trade. That really was the trade. If you would have sold my stop and then got in there, that was a good trade. Oh, Nikkei. Man, Nikkei could be super frustrating sometimes, guys. Yeah, now we're catching a bid. What's the best time to trade crude oil? Any time's the best time. Everyone likes to trade during the New York session. But just like last night when I was talking about placing trades on crude oil last night, just because the New York session is the most volatile, yeah, you could place trades, during the Asian session or the New York session or the London session. Yeah, that was the trade. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys get to see my losses. I never really, I don't hide anything. You see all my losses, just as much as you see my winners. I've been on a pretty good winning streak the past few weeks. And it's okay. I know I have losing streaks to come. Just like with my winners, I have my losers. So in May, I'm up probably $20,000 in May already. I ended April minus 10,000. So I wouldn't be surprised if I have a drawdown in May sometime. I don't want to say I expect one, and I never want to expect a drawdown. I don't want to say, yeah, I'm looking to take a loss. I should be taking a loss. It'll come naturally. Obviously, you could see I did take a loss on gold and Nikkei, but that's the reality. You guys get to see me take wins, and you got to see me take losses. And sometimes my losses are pretty big, and sometimes my wins are pretty big. Hopefully over the longer period of time, my wins are greater than my losses, and I have a positive expectancy, right? It's a lot. Yeah, a loss is a loss no matter what. You guys see my statistics. We talked about it. Yeah, I really hate losing. It's so frustrating, especially in front of you guys. Like, losing is bad enough, but it's even worse when I do it in front of a big audience. But yeah, that's the reality of it. I'm glad that I get to show you guys. And I'm happy that Topstep is, letting me do this to show you guys, like, hey, I'm a real trader. Guess what? 1 week I lost $30,000 in a week. The week after that I made 30,000 or 20,000. 1 week I lose. 1 week, and that's the reality of trading. To where you get to see tonight's like tonight, where I take a trade in front of you, I lose. I take another trade in front of you, I lose. Because that's the reality. Regardless of how great I thought this setup was, or regardless of how great I thought this setup was, my entry wasn't the best. And that was even probably the better trade was to get in where my stop loss was and to fade me. And if you would have just faded me when I hit my stop loss, that was the better trade in terms of a risk management standpoint. But to me at the time where we were trading, that from a technical standpoint in my strategy, it looked like the better trade. And I would take it again if it set up. I would take this Nikkei trade again if it set up. I would take the Nikkei short, though. First and foremost, I would have taken this Nikkei short. I would have been excited if I would have seen this one on time. That was the trade, was to short that. But there we go. There's my loss. There's my loss for today. We have 10 more minutes. Let's get to a couple more questions before I end it, and I go get some food and lick my wounds and prepare for tomorrow. Yeah, I've had my fair share of winning trades. I've had my fair share of losing trades. Trust me. Mick and Jack Lives made sure of it. Yeah, and sometimes that's what happens. There's news that you wasn't aware of, you wasn't paying attention, and it gets you. It's a dry top ramen noodle type of night for me tonight. How am I feeling about tomorrow? We'll see. Like I said, I'm done for tonight. We'll see if we could break out or if we're going to be range bound. A lot of my analysis, like crude oil is still the same. I'm still looking for $81 a barrel. Let me go like this. NASDAQ, we're either going to come back down into this range. I'm going to be looking for longs here, or we're going to break out, and I'm going to be looking to buy the dip. But I think that's about it. A couple more questions, and we could call it. Can you explain how you decided to go short or long again? Oh, you're going to have to rewatch this recording. If you missed it, rewatch it. I try my best to explain everything as possible. If you missed it, rewatch it. I typically like to answer the questions as good as I possibly can. This gold short is just looking me right in the face and laughing at me. Profit targets on gold. So yeah, let's just talk about gold for the last few minutes. If I kept my short, let's say I'm short here, my first target I look at is maybe a stop loss, like support, right? Like there's some support here. That could be my first target. There's some support here. This could possibly be my second target. So something as simple as that. It's not too complex. There's another question I've seen it a couple times is, one second, I'll get to your question. How do I pay myself? Usually once a month I'll take a payout. I've been trying to scale this account, so I haven't been taking a payout here at Topstep. I took $3,400 last month. I only took out $125 this month to pay for the fees. But usually the way I like to pay myself is just once a month, the first of the month, a percentage of my profits wherever I'm at. But that's all I'm looking at. For example, I'm trading live $150,000 account. It's not $150K combined. This is a live account that's at about $150,000. Okay. My peak was at like 160. So my high water mark was 160. Like the other day, I think it was like Tuesday. So my peak on my live account was $160,000. Live, $160,000 pure profits that I've made since January. Typically what I would do is I like to have an account balance be at $1 amount, say $100,000. Say I like to trade a $100,000 account. I have a $100,000 personal account, and for the month, say I make $10,000. My account balance is now at $110,000. At the end of the month, I will withdraw the $10,000, and I have a $110,000 account or a $100,000 account. And that's just I'll keep doing it. It's just that some months I do have a losing month, and when I do have a losing month, I don't pay myself, and that's the reality of it. But that's also the two-sided sword about trading, is you can make a lot of money, but you don't need, it's hard. You have to treat it like a real job. The money you make, you just don't spend it. You need to save it. It's there for the bills. If I have a good month, I save that money and I split it out for the rest of the year. And I look at a totality for the entire year. If I make that $10,000, say in April, I pull the $10,000 out, I take that $10,000 and I split it for the rest of the year. And I use that to live off of for the rest of the year. In May, if I lose money, I don't pull money out. June, say I get back up to my high water mark, and it's the reality of trading, because you have the pressure where you could spend, look, I spent an hour trading and I just lost money. And if I'm trading to pay the bills, I can't pay the bills losing money. But it's more about the long run and statistics, where for this week, so here's my live account. Let's just go through it real quick. Here's my live account. This week I am up 6,000. I'm up $6,000 this week. This month, look, I took a loss, right? So there's my loss. I'd have to pull these statistics. I don't know. But you can imagine, do the math. Here's April. Calculate how much money did I make for April, okay? And then here's May. I am up, 10, 14, 15, 17, over 20,000 in May. And May is only 9 days in. So I'm up $20,000 in May. If I have a losing day today, which so far I'm on track to have a losing day today, I'll give back a portion of this, right? I lost $1,200 today. Look, I was up 2,000. I lost 1,200. It was a rough day for me. And now it's continuing into a Friday. So, yeah, I'm no longer at my high water mark. I've been here before. I make money. I'm at my high water mark. I'm now at a drawdown. So I'm no longer at my high water mark. My high water mark was $163,000 in my live account. I'm now back down towards like 150s. And it's a new day well, it's not a new day tomorrow. It's going to be a new week next week. So anyway, guys, there it is. I mean, it's a good thing though, JD. People are concerned about profits and loss. That's what we trade for. But it's more about a longer period expectancy, not looking at the daily P&L, not looking at a weekly P&L, looking more at a longer perspective, like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Dakota, when you lose, do you take the next trade at full size, or do you? I've gotten to the point to when I do take a loss, my very next trade is exactly the same. I don't trade. I don't base any of my past trades. I don't let any of my past trades affect my future trades. If I do take an ugly loss, say for today, and I say I was at 160,000, now I'm at 150. My next trades are going to be exactly the same. I will be trading just like I didn't even with short-term memory or loss, like short-term memory. Like that's how it has to be. You can't trade based off of your emotions or based off of what your previous trade was. Couple more things. Why haven't I got my free reset? I believe they're going to be sent out tomorrow. I actually got a message. Yeah, there you go. If someone, this is directly from the Topstep team. If anyone says they did not get into the fire drill, just let them know they'll have another one soon. Oh, okay. I better read these first before I read them out loud. I need to read these before I read them out loud because I don't know what I should say. And sometimes I just read it out loud because I don't really pay attention. Yeah, you should receive that fire drill probably tomorrow. And then, of course, yeah, big shout out to the Topstep support team. I know Topstep support gets a lot of crap and they get a lot of headache and they get kind of the brunt end of things when stuff messes up. Topstep support gets the worst end of it. I kind of feel bad. I've worked in support for like a month. I hated it. I quit. I will never work in support again because of that. Because it's like, hey, it's not my fault something broke or someone's having an issue. But then they always get the bad mood. They always get, when something's broken or when something's not working exactly how it should. Support always is at the front lines. So big shout out to the Topstep support. I know it could be frustrating, and I know that MP and the team is really focusing on always continuing to improve and the support. So big shout out and thank you for that. Not that Heck or Sarah bribed me to say something, but maybe. Anyway, take care. We're coming up at the top of the hour. So far, it's a losing day for me. That if that's how today's going to be going, I'm going to end today with a big fat L. Anyway, take care, everybody, and I will talk to you tomorrow.